In the last video, we finished the Home tab basics. Today, we move into the Insert tab. Insert is where you add things into Excel, not just numbers, but also tables, images, shapes, links, text, and symbols. This will be a multi-part series as it was with the Home. We will skip deep topics like pivot tables and charts. I'll explain what they are, but they deserve their own videos later. A part of the things mentioned that will be skipped, we will talk about tables, illustrations, and controls. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Pivot tables. Pivot tables are for summarizing big data fast. They allow to sort, filter, segregate, or use specific parts of your data in a smaller capacity on the spot. Pivot table is a super powerful tool, but in my opinion, it's more of an intermediate skill. We'll do a dedicated video just for them. How to put it in plain words? What advantage do we get from turning a set of data into an Excel table? A table turns a normal range into a smart list. We have here some data, and maybe let's first show how to format a range to an Excel table and what happens step by step. First, you need to select your data range. Click and drag to select the cells. You can include the header row if you have headers. Then, we have to create the table. Go to the Insert tab, then Table. A keyboard shortcut is Ctrl and T for Windows and Command and T for Mac. We have to confirm the table range. Excel opens a small Create Table box showing the selected range. If your first row contains headers, keep My table has headers checked, then you click OK. What happens immediately after you click OK? Your range becomes a table with filter dropdowns in each header. Excel applies a table style, which can be adjusted or changed. The table also gets a name that you can rename in the table design. What happens when you start using it? When you type, for example, a formula in one row of a column, Excel often fills it down the entire column. Or when you add a new row under the table automatically expands and continues formatting. It also adds the formulas. To sum it up, we have to say that formatting a range as an Excel table turns it into a smart list with built-in filters and consistent formatting. Tables automatically expand when you add new rows, and formulas fill down so everything stays consistent. They also use structured references like sum or average, which makes formulas clearer and less error-prone than fixed ranges. Also, charts and summaries connected to a table update automatically as the table grows, which makes analysis easier. Let's jump quickly into the Add Forms option in the Insert tab. What you need to know is that this Forms button, like in my example, may be unavailable unless the workbook is stored in OneDrive for work or school or a SharePoint, and you're signed into the Microsoft 365 with a compatible account. But just that you know, the Insert Forms lets you create a Microsoft form that's connected to your workbook or table so people can submit data without touching the spreadsheet. How it typically works? You have to select your table or a range, then go Insert, Forms, New Form. Excel then opens Microsoft Forms where you build simple questions, for example, text, choice, date, etc., And then when someone submits the form, the answers are saved into the linked Excel workbook. The responses stay synced when you open it again. In the Illustrations section of the Insert tab, we have a button called Pictures. Pictures lets you insert an image into your worksheet, like a logo, product photo, or screenshot. As simple as that. It's just putting a picture into your Excel. When you click on the Shapes button, you get a lot of options to choose from. Shapes are great for example, explaining a sheet. We can use arrows, labels, callouts, and then format them as you wish. Icons, on the other hand, are clean visuals, small symbols like phone, mail, checkmark, whatever you wish and can find there. The 3D Models button, as the name suggests, allows you to insert 3D models into your Excel sheet. You can choose them from the device you own or use some stock 3D models. The SmartArt button lets you turn simple text into a clean diagram like steps, a hierarchy, or a cycle, for example. Now that I think about it, it can be a useful and powerful visual tool, and I will also make a dedicated video on this as it is a complex option. The last button that we see here is the screenshot. The screenshot lets you capture part of your screen and paste it directly into Excel. It's, for example, perfect for documenting something really fast. Last but not least is the Checkbox button, a neat little option I grew fond of lately. It adds a clickable checkbox inside the cell. When you tick it, the cell's value becomes true, and when you untick it, it becomes false, so you can use it very easily in formulas. This is a neat and tidy way of organizing, for example, your to-do lists and keeping track of your progress. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you soon.